2014 is here for the K&N Pro Series. Tonight, the East Division, running at New Smyrna Speedway in Florida. It's the New Smyrna 150 presented by Jags. Glad to have you with us. With Johnny Benson, I'm Adam Alexander. Kristen Beat will join us from pit road in just a couple of moments. Weather tonight, absolutely gorgeous in the central part of the state. Winds are calm, clear skies, 71 degrees. The championship chase in 2013 was a good one. Dylan Kwasniewski got the title. He has moved on and is running in the Nationwide Series. Who will grab the crown this year? It all begins tonight. Let's go to pit road and hear from Kristen.
Thanks, Adam. I'm down here at the center of Turn 1, really enjoying the inaugural race at New Smyrna Speedway. Behind me, all the fans taking part in the pre-race driver autograph session. Everyone's excited, ready to get back out and get ready to racing. We have a stacked Rookie of the Year field. Contenders all abound. We have an exciting season getting ready to take place here at New Smyrna Speedway for the inaugural New Smyrna 150.
All right, Kristen, we look forward to your reports tonight. Now we welcome in Johnny Benson. We get ready to go racing. What are the storylines we'll see, Johnny?
Well, tire conservation is going to be the big thing. You know, tire management. You got to roll the center of this racetrack is very, very important, and this place is hard to pass on.
And the pole sitter for tonight's event, Cameron Haley. Let's hear from him. Here's Kristen.
All right, I am standing here with Cameron Haley, pole sitter for tonight's race. Cameron, tell me a little bit about how you were able to put this car on the pole for Turner Scott Motorsports.
Well, you know, we struggled early on in practice. It got really hot out here today. I think the track dropped 100 degrees from when we were practicing. We tested here a month ago. The car was great. It was cooler like this. We went back to that. I just can't thank these guys enough. They've done so much. Our number 98 cabinets by Haley, Chevy, and Powell is so fast tonight. It's going to be awesome, and we're definitely going to be there for that win tonight.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Not a better way to start the season, Johnny, than on the pole, huh?
Oh, absolutely. You want to start up front. Track position means a lot at this racetrack.
Yeah, when you go short track racing, certainly when you start on the pole, you take away a lot of the potential problems that could exist throughout the evening. And when you talk about Cameron Haley, here's a kid that's run full-time the last 2 years in the K&N West side. He's got one win. He was second in the championship a season ago. We'll see how he does tonight. Welcome back to the New Smyrna Speedway. Just about to begin in the New Smyrna 150 presented by Jags. And before we go green tonight, we get one more report from Kristen Beat.
All right, throughout the offseason, a lot of the teams who came down here for testing focused on making runs with older tires so they could get the balance right on the cars, knowing that they wouldn't be allowed to change tires out at this race. This was a huge deal throughout the entire offseason, getting these cars balanced correct for this race on older tires.
Thank you, Kristen. We've met our pole sitter, Cameron Haley. Let's go ahead and look at the starting lineup for tonight's season opener. Joining Cameron on the front row is Ben Rhodes, and inside of row 2, Brandon McReynolds going to run full-time out west. That's a name familiar to race fans, Johnny.
Oh, absolutely. And hopefully he's going to do a great job. He's been doing some racing, so we'll see.
His teammate, Nick Drake, going to run the full East Series for Bill McAnally in 2014. He starts 14th tonight. Brennan Newberry, a kid that brings a great deal of experience in various levels of NASCAR, including the Camping World Truck Series. You saw him starting inside the top 20. And here's the remainder of the field for tonight's season opener here at New Smyrna. Green flag is out, and we are underway. That's Cameron Haley, the pole sitter, that gets the early jump.
Yeah, this track is extremely hard to pass on. You can see guys sliding already. 150 laps on this set of tires. I tell you what, that's going to be pretty difficult.
And it'll be interesting to see tonight how much beating and banging. At a short track, first time we've been here, you kind of have to be aggressive if you're going to be successful.
Well, you do. You have to be able to at least run the bottom. It's about the only place you can really pass here. The guys that are going to be able to get around the top. It's going to be tough on their tires, but if they can make passes, that's where you got to get it done too.
150 laps making up tonight's event. Cameron Haley, who grabbed the pole, jumps out to the early race lead. It's Rhodes, Pulliam, McReynolds making up the top 4.
Yeah, you see a couple guys already doing a little pushing and shoving there and getting loose, and this is something you really don't want to do this early in a race. You want to get what you can, but you definitely got to manage these tires, because at the end of this race, when it's going to count, you got to be able to run hard.
I'm going to have a battle for the lead here shortly. Cameron Haley has the spot on the inside, but here comes Kinsey Rustin outside. She's going to grab the top spot.
That was a great pass. You know, this place it's tough, it's rough, And as good as her car rolled through the center of that corner, went right around the leader, and now she's up front.
22 years old, going to run full-time in the series in 2014. Talking about our new leader in Kinsey Ruston. And she's got quite a background. Really has been impressive coming up through the ranks. And now the battle is on for second. Ben Rhodes had the spot, but that's Greg Gaulding to the inside going to take it away.
Yeah, it's just like some pretty good racing there, and but the leaders got to be careful. They need to be looking in the mirror, not trying to pull away too fast, because again, that tire wear is going to be an issue at the end, and looks like she slowed down a little bit, or the guys behind her are starting to catch up.
Haley, the pole sitter, continues to slide, and might want to keep an eye on that 33 machine of Brandon Jones. He's on the move in the early going.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what cars are going to run good at the end, because if you're going to start off, the car's a little too loose, it's going to be very difficult to pass. You get it too tight, it's going to be hard in the beginning, but hopefully you have that forward drive coming up off the corners.
Talked about Haley going in the wrong direction. Our pole sitter, Rhodes, started outside front row. He's going to fall back to fourth. Inside of him, the aforementioned Brandon Jones. And now the battle for the race lead. Greg Gaulding going to the inside of Kinsey Ruston, and he's going to grab the top spot. Gaulding on point.
Yeah, Gray, he's been a new guy, obviously. He's very young. He's been doing a great job. Watched him a little bit here and there on some races. He's been doing a fine job.
16 years old, and the graphic paid it off there. He won in West Series competition a year ago, and another change for position. Ruston falling back to third as Jones slides through and goes to the runner-up spot.
That's just one thing I love about short track racing. These guys know it's 150 laps. They also know that they got to run these tires for 150 laps, but yet they're still racing like it's near the end, and it's kind of fun to watch them do that.
But you said something that was interesting, and we heard from Kristen earlier about scuffing tires. You have to manage this race. You love being good early, and you want to grab some positions, but obviously this is 150 laps. You got to pace yourself a little bit.
Well, for what I'm watching right now, they're not being as patient as what I would probably, and if I was out there running. But you know what? They are a lot of young drivers, a lot of young talent. They'll learn that as time goes. But I think that by the end, you're going to find the guys that really paid attention and saved their stuff.
Great battle here. Brandon McReynolds in that 16 Napa car sliding backwards after starting in the third position. But someone that's on the move, Daniel Suarez in that 6 machine, the Sunoco Toyota, picks up another spot off the corner.
Yeah, it looks like your car's really working good. And it just, these, like you say, the guy that can run down at the bottom, he can run it smooth and not smoke the tires coming off the corner, it's going to have a pretty good race.
Here comes Brandon Jones inside of Greg Gaulding. Another lead change. Put the 33 on point. 14 laps in here at New Smyrna. So early in this race, it was Cameron Haley, the pole sitter, that had the top spot. Then Kinsey Ruston, who started 6th, got her turn out front. We saw Greg Gaulding there, and now Jones has the race lead, 15 laps in, and we continue to watch this 6 car of Daniel Suarez slicing through the field. The battle for 6th here with Austin Hill.
He's running pretty hard here, a little harder than I expect. You can see the right front rotor glowing. You see the car bottoming out because the track's rough. Probably a little bit of low air pressure too, but he's running it pretty tough there because, like I say, you see the right front rotor glowing hot.
He picks off the 22 of Hill and now sets his sights on the man that was on the outside of the front row to start the race. No problems there. He drives right by Ben Rhodes. So Daniel Suarez, the man on the move. And we are just over 15 laps in here at New Smyrna. Welcome back to New Smyrna. We are underway in the season opener for the K&N Pro Series East. Our race leader, the 33 car, Brandon Jones, started 10th and wasted no time making his way to the front.
No, he's moving right along and just and starting to put a little bit of distance on those guys. You can see the 6 there just fighting the wheel just a little bit, and that's what's going to make it tough. You can't fight that wheel. You got to be smooth. You got to be, patient, but they're racing hard. I like it.
Greg Gaulding running 2nd, and right now the battle on track is for 3rd. Daniel Suarez, who started this race in the 11th position on the backside, working over Kinsey Ruston, and he has been unbelievable tonight from 11th up to 4th and looked at the outside there trying to make a move for position.
Yeah, you can see him starting to slide around a little bit there, and then I'm sure he's going to back off a little bit. just make sure he's get the car underneath him. And now he's just going to try the inside. He's going to do everything he can without, you know, burning the tires up and try not to burn the brakes up. It looks like he's as hard on brakes as anybody. He's been a little bit red on them, but, you know, these cars are set up for that. They'll be okay.
Suarez, a kid that has a lot of talent, won at Columbus a year ago, 3 runner-up finishes. He was 3rd in the points and really was incredible coming down the stretch in 2013.
You know, looks like there's a lot of great racing. It doesn't matter where you're at on the track. There's guys trying to pass guys on the inside, outside. A couple guys sliding around a little bit. They'll probably have problems later in the race. But all in all, everybody looks like they're staying calm and you know, rolling along pretty nicely.
You know, what's been impressive to me, Johnny, the fact that we're 30 laps in, so far caution-free. It's pretty amazing when you put a bunch of young kids on a short track.
It is. You know, we've been watching, you know, a lot of guys come up through the ranks, and a lot of these guys are new. They're very young, and to get in race cars like this and have running, it's pretty tough. Here we got a caution on the track.
I spoke too soon. Yeah. Jerry Dawson goes around in the 55, our first caution of the night. You saw Daniel Suarez was able to make the move to the inside of Kinsey Ruston and pick up the 3rd position on track. And Dawson should be able to drive away here tonight, making his first career start in the K&N Pro Series.
Yep, looks like he gets away nicely in front of the pace car, which is always good. Keep it on that lead lap.
Out of Saugus, Massachusetts. So the pace car picks up the field. And the man out front continues to be Brandon Jones. That's Gray Gaulding behind him. Jones tonight has led 19 of the first 32 laps, and that's a pretty major accomplishment when you consider he was 10th on the grid. And starting 11th tonight, Daniel Suarez, who is 3rd under our first caution.
Yeah, they come up to the field really nice, and it looks like they're, you know, gaining ground.
We'll go green when we return to New Smyrna. New Smyrna Speedway hosting the K&N Pro Series East season opener for 2014. First caution of the night for a spin. Single car accident, Jerry Dawson, the man that went around over in the corner. And get the restart as we put lap 38 on the board.
Yeah, that was a pretty good restart. I don't know if Gray was just sleeping there a little bit or if the other guy just got a great jump. But you know what? Still early on in the race. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Brandon Jones got the jump, and you mentioned the fact that Gray Gaulding did not get a good restart. Cost him the 2nd position. Daniel Suarez now the runner-up, and he is on the backside and working hard to take the race lead away from Jones.
Well, the one thing here, too, is on these restarts with these young kids, like I say, 16 years old, you're not sure what everybody's going to do. You know, I've had the opportunity to run against Ron Hornaday. That's really good on the restart. That's kind of what we saw. It looked like a Ron Hornaday start almost.
Slow on the track here, the 22 machine. That's Austin Hill, 20-year-old. Suarez went to the inside of Jones, unable to make it stick. He settles in line right behind him, and Gray Gaulding not letting them get away.
Now, these guys look like they're running really hard for the lead. I mean, a little harder than what you expect, you know, but as you always hear in the racing, you want that clean air. You want to be up front. You want to be able to at least control the race and do, you know, some of the things that you want. Sometimes being up front, you can be a little bit more smooth than it is if you're following somebody.
Good battle there for 10th. Heckert and Godovic going at it. Right in front of them, the 15 machine. That's Nick Drake, who will run full-time in the East this year, driving for Bill McAnally, who's won 5 titles out west in K&N competition.
What a great racetrack. I mean, you see these guys running side by side. You know, it doesn't look like the inside line has a huge advantage or the outside line. These guys can run side by side. Look like they're, you know, running really clean, and looks like they're just having a good time.
Well, and behind them, Matt Tift in that 52 machine. You see the famous colors of Federated Auto Parts, that car owned by Ken Schrader. He's going to lose a position. That's McKenna Bell going inside of him. Bell's crew chief, by the way, Coleman Presley, who's spent some time racing, the son of Robert Presley, who I know you competed against, Johnny.
Oh, I've raced against Robert Presley for a long time, and I've been able, you know, to meet his son, and he's done a lot of racing and doing some crew chiefing. It's great to have him in the sport.
Cameron Haley set on the pole tonight. drifted back, but now trying to reset his road to the front inside of Ben Rhodes. Good battle for position there. Give it to Haley, who is starting to work his way back toward the point.
Yeah, I think that's just being real smart. You know, you go up there, you're up front for a little bit, and then you kind of just relax. You got to relax. You know, this track is a little tough on brakes. Probably not going to have a whole lot of problems. It's tough on brakes. You don't want to overheat the right front to have any problems. And of course, the tire management thing is such a huge thing at this racetrack. So I think that's just playing it smart. Just back off for a little bit and then, you know, go forward when you can, and as long as it's easy.
Haley running 6th, and Rhodes, who started on the front row with him, in the 7th position. Brandon McReynolds, who started 3rd tonight, has dropped back to 9th in the running order.
Yeah, that's just probably just, you know, just being careful, being smart, knowing that you can't put tires on this. If the car is off a little bit, you know, you're going to maybe have an opportunity to do some work on it, but you're not going to be able to change tires at all.
What a battle for the lead. Since the restart, when Suarez was able to get around Gray Gaulding for the runner-up position, he has been hounding Brandon Jones. It has not stopped. Jones has handled it well, but I think the time has come. Inside, Daniel Suarez going for the race lead as we close on lap 50 here at New Smyrna.
Well, that was kind of a key thing there. Lap 50, they're racing like it's the last 15, 20 laps of the race, which is great. You know, the fans are seeing a great race. You people watching this on TV are seeing a great race, and it's really cool to see these young guys race hard like this.
New leader, Daniel Suarez, goes to the point. We'll see if he can keep it there. We're 50 laps in to the New Smyrna 150 presented by Jags. Entertaining night here at New Smyrna, 56 of 150 laps complete. You see the top 5 there. Racing all over this short track here in Florida. First time the K&N Pro Series has come to New Smyrna, and I think they like what they're seeing. Good battle on track between the 97 of Jesse Little and Brandon McReynolds in the 16.
Well, I've had an opportunity to race with Jesse's dad, Chad Little. He's a teammate with me, and you know, so the kid's doing a great job. He looks like he's nice and smooth and running hard.
We see a lot of second-generation drivers at all levels of NASCAR. This is such a great place, though, Johnny, for young drivers to go and learn and get to go to some venues where someday, if their career pans out, they'll be racing big time.
Oh, absolutely. You know, when I started running, there was ASA, and now the K&N East is a great place to start.
So let's go back down to pit road once again as we close on the midway point and hear from Kristen Beat.
Finding a K&N East driver with a better second half of the season than Daniel Suarez is not an easy task. Over the final 8 events of the 2013 campaign, the NASCAR Next competitor from Monterrey, Mexico, scored 6 top 3 finishes, including his first series victory at Columbus, Ohio Motor Speedway, hoping to run away with this one at New Smyrna.
Well, and you talk about a great start to the season as Kristen gives the report on Daniel Suarez there. I mean, he starts 11th tonight. The qualifying wasn't great, but quickly works his way to the front, and he's managing that car very well tonight, Johnny.
Well, he is. Like we talked earlier in the show, the tire management, guys down there to maybe testing on old tires and scuffing tires. He's already had that part planned, so sometimes that does hurt you at the beginning of the race, but as things go, things start to come your way.
Well, and Cameron Haley won the pole, and you and I talked off the top about how big that can be at a short track. He drifted early, but his strategy appears to be paying off as well, because here we are at lap 62, and he's working his way back toward the top 5.
Yeah, it's always nice to, you know, see guys run hard, be smart, come up to the front. Sometimes starting up front, you lose a little bit. That's okay, but it's just always nice to be able to see the front guys anyways.
Look there at the 11 machine, Lee Polium, one of the entries tonight that's owned by Shiggy Hattori. He's having a pretty good evening.
Yeah, it looks like the car's running really well, and you can see that guys are a little tough on the brakes, but I think that's just a racetrack. I've had an opportunity to test there, and you definitely use the brakes, but they're set up for it. You can see holes in the nose piece there to keep everything cooled down.
One caution so far here tonight. That was a spin earlier in the evening when Jerry Dawson went around, but these youngsters doing a nice job. We talk about Lee Polium. You see the numbers on him here, currently 4th in the running order, and right behind him, Kinsey Rustin, who led some laps early in tonight's event.
Everybody looks like they're just being real smooth and cautious now. We saw a lot of side-by-side racing. Right now they're in single file saying, 65 laps on the tires right now is looking good, or if I'm sliding around a little bit, you just got to be smooth with them and try to keep a lot of the heat out of them.
And you and I were talking about some of the crew chiefs in this series, many of them former drivers. You got a guy like Mark Green who's on the box. It's nice to have someone like that around to help these youngsters understand how to manage a race on a short track.
Well, these young kids, they want to go out and they want to race hard, and they want to race hard for 150 laps. Guys with experience are on the radio saying, hey, you better slow down a little bit. Oh, we got a little problem here. Now, this is a result of either sliding up or maybe too hard on the brakes and things of this nature. But I tell you what, that's a pretty tough hit right there.
Yeah, Rusty Skews in that 51 car, second caution of the night. And he hit the wall pretty good. You see him here coming off the corner.
Yeah, looks like definitely had a problem up in the front there. The car just looks like it dropped down. You see the sparks flying and up in the wall there. So could be just a product of running the brakes a little bit too high. You see it's still hot.
So he'll bring his car to pit road, and everyone else will as well. We get a halfway break in the K&N Pro Series East Division, and since we've had a caution just 5 laps away from halfway, NASCAR has said these teams can go ahead and come down pit road at this time. Our coverage continues when we return on Fox Sports 1. Great night here in Central Florida. The halfway break for teams in the K&N Pro Series East Division, a chance to work on the race car, Johnny.
Yeah, it gives them an opportunity. They run half the race. They know what they got, trying to figure out what they're going to need to get to the end. Some of the adjustments are made. You're going to find out if some are right or some are wrong.
Daniel Suarez, the race leader, chooses the outside lane for the restart. Inside of him, Brandon Jones. And as the green flag goes back in the air, Suarez with a great restart.
Yeah, so far we've seen twice now. The outside really gets a great jump off turn 4, sets him up really nicely getting into turn 1.
That's Lee Pulliam in the white machine, that 11 car that goes with him. And Brandon Jones going to slide into third, but he's got company. It's our pole sitter, Cameron Haley, who's there in the 98, diving over to the inside.
And these guys are running pretty hard right here at the beginning, knowing the fact that they did their halfway, they made some adjustments. You can't change tires, though. They're on the same tire. Now, some of them may do some air pressure adjustments, things of that nature, but it still takes a couple laps for these tires to come back up and back up to pressures and, get the rubber off them.
Well, and you know as well as I do, Johnny, one of the great times to make a pass and gain track position is on a restart.
It is. You just got to be very careful. A lot of these guys are pretty young. They don't know what to expect. Some of the guys who are experienced, they can definitely take advantage of that.
Ben Rhodes started second tonight. Good battle here with the 97 of Jesse Little. Both those cars running inside the top 10.
Yeah, it's just so cool watching, like I say, the youngsters coming up. And, Jesse Little, I raced with his dad and things of that nature. It's really, really neat to see these guys getting that opportunity to get through this series and possibly someday see him in NASCAR.
Rhodes grabs that spot, and now going to the inside of Little is Brandon McReynolds. Let's go to pit road and get a report from Kristen.
Earlier today, I spoke with Brandon McReynolds, son of Larry McReynolds, trying to get a little bit of that race strategy from him. He had mentioned that filling up the car during that pit stop was all going to be about calculations. They may not have filled up their entire tank, but they've got enough to last until the end of the race.
And I'm assuming, Johnny, the reason for doing that is weight in the car and trying to help the balance.
Well, there is. There's a lot of things that's going on there. If you run it low on fuel, it's going to start to tighten up a little bit. If he's already a little loose, he doesn't want to throw all that extra fuel to free it up, and he just needs enough to get to the end of the race, and keeping the car light is always good.
Yeah, Brandon started in the third position. Now the battle for the lead is on. That's Lee Pulliam to the inside of Daniel Suarez. Suarez really dominated the end portion of that first half of the race. Got a great restart, but Pulliam not going away here.
Now it looks like he's even sliding up a little bit. I thought they were going to make some contact, but the guys were just, good racing, and they're able to stay up front there. But I bet you he's going to make a couple more tries at this before it's over with.
Well, and those drivers behind him liking to see someone go up and challenge Daniel Suarez might allow them to get back in the hunt. Talking about drivers like Brandon Jones, Cameron Haley, who started on the pole tonight.
Sometimes when you go side by side, it always seems to slow you down. When they got back in single file, they started to pull away. But, when they were side by side, the guys are gaining on them. And, you still see a little bit there. But it does always slow you down. You got to be careful running on tracks like this side by side.
You know, Pulliam is a kid that started racing at age 18, so he started his racing career when most of these kids had been racing for many years, and that's something that you don't see very often in this day and age. He comes into the Knights event at age 25.
Yeah, that's a good thing and a bad thing. You know, at least the thing is when he's in there, he's probably a little bit more mature, but he just doesn't have that background. So that's like myself. I didn't start till I was 19 years old, racing nothing. So it's not really going to hurt you too bad as long as you're smart at what you're doing.
Good battle here. Rustin in the 96, Rhodes in the 41, and Gray Galding in the 20 car.
Looks like pretty much majority of the field is staying single file. You're going to see a couple guys trying to make some passes. You know, we're almost 70 laps in, or 70 laps to go, I'm sorry. And it's just guys are starting to slide around. They're starting to see really what they got for their tire wear, and we have to make the right adjustments.
Brennan Newberry competing in the series this season. Let's get a report on his progress in the 24 car. Kristen?
You know, during the offseason, I was able to talk a little bit to Brennan Newberry, who's not only going to be running the K&N E Series full schedule, but also the Nascar Camping World Truck Series schedule. They put a lot of time and effort in this offseason towards being able to adjust both cars for both programs.
Newberry's a kid that really has done some positive things early in his career. At 24 years old, he already has 31 career starts in the Camping World Truck Series. Made 11 starts out west, now running in the K&N East Series here in 2014.
Well, he's definitely going to get a lot of experience at this racetrack to get him ready for the truck races coming up, too.
64 laps remaining. There's Clint King in the 07. That's the white car there on the outside of Nick Drake, the Napa car. Mentioned earlier, he's driving for Bill McAnally this season.
Yeah, I see these guys are hanging tough. They're running hard still, and knowing that, you know, they're still got a ways to go. But if those guys are sitting there back 15, 20th, they got to think about starting to roll forward now.
A couple of positions in front of them, that 99 machine of Patrick Staropoli. He's 24 years old, actually going to med school down at the University of Miami in Florida. So this is a kid that's got bigger things on his mind, but an opportunity to go racing in that peak machine, and he's handled it quite well. And talk about handling it well, Daniel Suarez has been incredible. He's starting to pull away from Lee Pulliam as the 11 car continues in the second position. 60 laps remaining now here at New Smyrna.
Yeah, Daniel's car looks really, really good. He's able to run on the bottom. You see him every once in a while float up in the center, but mainly when he wants to be on that bottom, he can be.
We'll see if anybody can challenge the youngster at New Smyrna Speedway. We're back after a break. Top 5, Suarez, Pulliam, Haley, Jones, and Rustin. As we close on the end of 150 laps here at New Smyrna Speedway with Johnny Benson, I'm Adam Alexander, Kristen Beat on pit road of our coverage tonight. It's been a very entertaining event. Daniel Suarez leads, Lee Pulliam is second, and we've got quite a battle here for the runner-up position. Haley is there, and others trying to take it away.
It is, Emmett. This is when it's starting to get crunch time, you know. Basically, they're going to get through this a little bit. You're going to have 30, 35 laps of just hard racing, and that tire management deal, it's out of the ballpark right now. You just got to run as hard as you can.
Talk about a yo-yo night. Haley started on the pole, drifted back early, and has been on a consistent climb back to the point. Here he is trying to grab the runner-up position away from Lee Pulliam, and he's got that preferred inside lane.
It is. It looks like he's fighting a little bit, but again, it's late. It's time to go. These guys are running a lot harder now, maybe not as fast just because of the tire wear, but they are running as hard as they can right now trying to get to the front.
You know, if you're a car owner, Johnny, and you're recruiting young kids to your program, and you go and watch someone run on old tires at a short track late in the race, that's when you can really start to find out what kind of talent these kids have, isn't it?
Well, it is, you know. I mean, it definitely is a huge combination depending on what type of car you got, how the car's handling. But yes, when you're on old tires At a track, they probably don't have a tremendous amount of experience. Plus, it is bumpy. Running side by side like this definitely shows you the character of the drivers. They're running smooth. They're not banging into each other. Both doing a great job.
You know what this reminds me of a little bit, watching this battle side by side, several laps in a row? Indianapolis Raceway Park, ORP, whatever we call it these days. I know you love going there and racing, and that was a place that just produced unbelievable events, regardless of what kind of cars were competing there.
It is, you know, and this racetrack's providing that same feeling right here. It looks like it's a racy track. You run top, bottom, and it looks like you run pretty clean. I mean, we've only had, what, a couple cautions for not very many, you know, laps. I mean, this is just great racing. It's a great place to have a race.
Well, and a testament to how talented these kids are. Pulliam able to hang on to that runner-up position as they start to get in some lap traffic here going around Clint King, a lap car. And you see the blue Sunoco machine out front. Daniel Suarez starting to pull away a bit, and he was able to gain that advantage over Pulliam and Haley when they were going side by side, battling so hard for that runner-up position.
Yeah, just keep trying and trying and trying. And, you know, you got to set your car up, or you got to at least try to figure out the guy in front of you, where his weak spots are and where he's strong. And right now, you know, the 11 looks like he could run the top or the bottom, and he's actually opening the door quite a bit here, but just not being able to take advantage of getting underneath.
27 laps to go for Lee Pulliam. Quite a debut. First career start in the K&N Pro Series. Over on the east side, and Daniel Suarez doing what he needs to do, sifting through the lap traffic, going to the inside of Nathan Russell. No problems making the pass there.
Well, there's nobody pressuring him right now, which is really nice. He can look in the mirror. He can see those guys, you know, battling it out. Of course, he's probably hearing it on the radio, too. He's just holding a nice, what we call a pretty line, just trying to keep the thing underneath you, driving smooth, try not to spin the tires. Because you never know, you know, with a few laps to go, when these guys gets up there, starts beating on his rear bumper, he's going to need to be able to pull away again.
How big's the spotter on a night like tonight?
Well, I think for these young guys, I meant the spotter part, as far as keeping out of wrecks, obviously is always important. But to have somebody up there telling you, you know, look, don't drive so hard, be smooth with the car. You know, I see you're fighting it off the corner, try to ease up a little bit on that. And then he's going to also tell you, you can look in the mirror, but you can kind of tell. It's like, okay, he's beating you maybe through the center or off or in. You just kind of make some adjustments for what you need.
Closing on 20 laps to go. The battle for second rages on. Lee Pulliam in the 11. The 98, our pole sitter of Cameron Haley is third. And waiting in the wings, you saw him there. The 33 of Brandon Jones led 35 laps tonight after being 10th on the grid when this late race began.
He keeps trying that bottom, and I think one of these times, you know, he may make that happen, but every time you get there, you run side by side, you think you got it figured out, and all of a sudden you come up on lap traffic again. That sometimes makes it a little bit difficult, but I think the main thing is he's racing a guy extremely clean. You see him still fighting the car, but yet not going up there and causing Lee any problems.
Well, and this is great for our leader, Daniel Suarez, to see these two in his rearview mirror going side by side. He knows he can open up his margin of advantage here as these two continue to compete for that runner-up position.
Well, even at that, he knows that they're using their tires up a little bit more also. So, I mean, it's just, for second place, this is just a great run. And here's where the lap car sometimes will come into a little bit of a squeeze here, but, boy, that's tight.
A little contact there.
Well, I think you're going to have that, you know. I think that he was wanting to give him a little bit more room to go 3 wide, but New Smyrna's not going to provide 3 wide racing.
Haley continues his climb back to the front. Finally, he's able to make the pass of Lee Pulliam for that runner-up spot, and now he sets his sights on the race leader, Daniel Suarez. 19 laps remaining here at New Smyrna.
Yeah, it looks like Adam's car is running really good down at the bottom. You see him fighting it just a little bit coming off the corner. As long as he's got enough drive to get that gas pedal down to run it up off there. I mean, he's running low right where you need to be. And, you know, he's going to run him down. He doesn't have much time.
Well, the two guys out front each have one career win under their belt when it comes to K&N competition. Suarez getting his a season ago at Columbus. And Haley was able to win last year in West competition, had a great finish to 2013 en route to a third-place finish in the championship. And lap traffic, Johnny, going to be a huge factor as we close on the 15 to go mark.
It is, you know, and this is where the spotters can help you or hurt you. Not so much for the leader, but the guys in front. They got to let them know the leader's coming. You got to try to give them an opportunity, you know, but they're still racing hard too. And you can see that Daniel there is having a difficult decision. Do I run the top or the bottom? Now I just got Canham right on the back of him here. He's going to have to make the right choice.
Suarez has company in his rearview mirror for the first time in quite a while. How will he tiptoe through the lap traffic? And what role will they play in the outcome of this season opener here in Central Florida? 14 laps remaining, and we have caution for the third time tonight. A problem for Clint King.
Yeah, again, it looks like something may have happened up in the front there, and just it's just so tough. And the same place on the track as the other guy there. It just looks like it cut a tire from brake heat or running something over and, you know, straighten the wall.
So Clint King brings out the caution. We'll have the restart when we return. Daniel Suarez going to be on the front row with Cameron Haley. It's going to be a good one to the finish. 8 laps to go here at New Smyrna. Daniel Suarez is the race leader, and like we have seen throughout the night, Johnny, he chooses the outside lane.
He does. And when Canham's sitting there running the bottom and passing these guys on the bottom, man, you're going, boy, is this going to be the right choice? But the outside is definitely looks like it's the place to start on all the restarts that we've seen.
So Suarez, the race leader. Haley is second. Pulliam and Jones in row 2. Ruston and Rhodes in row 3. Green flag in the air as we settle it here at New Smyrna.
Oh, he got a great run coming off turn 4 there, and it just gives them the opportunity to run down the bottom. We see some contact here. Pretty heavy contact, but a great job with nobody spinning out there.
Yeah, Ruston and Pulliam get together, but both able to keep it going in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's just a product of late in the race. Their tires are wore out after a restart. Don't have the stuff off the tires, and everybody's just slipping and sliding right now, just driving.
They are getting after it back in the pack, and now we focus on the race lead with 7 laps remaining. Daniel Suarez in the 6th, looking for his second career win. The 98 machine belongs to Cameron Haley. He, too's trying to go to victory lane for the second time in his career in K&N competition.
I tell you what, there's 6 laps to go. He's driving that thing as hard as he can. You can actually see both guys fighting it coming up off the corner. Now, Daniel there, he's starting to see, okay, he's got an opportunity to get underneath me.
Scott Heckert out of the groove. Looked like he might have made contact with the wall. He drifts back in the pack as we continue to watch what happens up front. 5 laps remaining.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a great race. You can see him, he's trying to protect the bottom, but it doesn't look like he runs as good on the bottom as the top. But boy, you would hate with 4 to go to open that door up on the bottom and give him that opportunity to go by. But again, he slides up, but he comes off turn 2 extremely strong.
Every once in a while, you get a good shot from one of our cameras at their hands in the cockpit. These guys are sawing it off in the closing laps.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. You know you're the leader. The guy's running second. They both got to win. Who's going to get the second one? The thing I'm impressed with, though, they're not beating and banging. They're not trying to say, I'm just going to knock you out of the way. They're going to race this thing the way it should be, and it looks like they're just doing a fabulous job.
Well, the other thing is you got to start thinking at some point about the bonus points that are on the line for winning a race. If these two go at it like this all season long, we know that bonus points at the end of the year could go a long way in deciding the championship. 2 to go, and it continues to be Suarez in front of Haley, but here comes Haley once again on the inside.
I tell you what, this is really cool, but they worried about bonus points. They want that trophy, and they're running hard at it. It's a great racetrack to do it. Man, they're running hard.
White flag is out, down the back straightaway for the final time. Suarez going to try and hold him off and begin 2014 in victory lane. Haley digging back on the inside, off of turn 4. Here they come to the finish. It's Daniel Suarez who gets the checkered flag at New Smyrna.
Well, I tell you what, both those guys earned that first and second spot. I mean, that was, a great race. They managed their tires, and they drove the heck out of them at the end. That's exactly how you're supposed to do it.
That's when it's easy to get out of your car at the end of the night and go over and shake somebody's hand, isn't it, Johnny?
It is when they do it like they did it, in the fashion that they did it. They're not beating and banging. There's not going to be any hard feelings. Yeah, the guy that finished second, he's going to feel like, man, I wish I would have got that. But I'll tell you what, you got to applaud both those guys. Awesome race.
Second career win for Daniel Suarez. He started in the 11th position, drove his way to the front very methodically, very patiently. And then once he got the lead, he refused to give it up. The celebration is on in New Smyrna. Daniel Suarez to victory lane. Back in New Smyrna, the New Smyrna 150 presented by Jags is complete. Daniel Suarez gets the checkered flag tonight, and you see the smoke as it drifts through the stands here at New Smyrna. The fans got their money's worth. Suarez celebrating for the second time in his career. He is climbing out of the car in victory lane. Oh, the young man is happy, as he should be. Kristen Beat is there. Let's hear from the guy who has started off 2013 right. What does he have to say about tonight's big victory?
This is awesome. I can't take enough all the team, Reparation, Drive for Diversity, Skip Baylor, all my complete team. They did awesome job after a hard day yesterday. I mean, we started the day. What was pretty difficult for us because in the beginning we never find the speed. In the beginning of today, this morning, we start with a brand new setup and workout. So I'm really happy for this. All these guys deserve it, and I'm really happy.
Nothing like the feel of victory lane as we look at tonight's results, huh, Johnny?
Oh, it is, and just saw a lot of great racing. The top 10, top 15 guys. Great hard racing.
Well, I think when you begin a new season, you want to lay a foundation for a successful year. I know some of these guys didn't have the result that they wanted tonight, but they did some things that were positive at a tough little short track that should give them some confidence going forward. Second place tonight, Cameron Haley. Let's hear from him. Back to Kristen.
Cameron, tell me a little bit about the race. You started on the pole. You were pretty strong throughout the entire thing. Lost him a little bit, got back to him. Tell us about it.
Well, we decided to save a lot of tires early on. We probably dropped back farther than we should have. 10th place was a long ways to go back, but I think we made the right call. We saved a lot of tires. We wanted to be 6th at the halfway break so we could start on the outside, and we did. And after that, it was all history. We just tried to work our way up slowly but surely. And at the end there, apparently I ran out of talent. I needed to win that race, and I didn't. But overall, great run for a Countess by Haley Chevy Impala. Looking forward to Daytona here on Tuesday to redeem myself.
Now, you came from the West Series, now running full-time in the East Series. What are the biggest differences you're noticing?
It's all great competition. I mean, the West proved themselves last year at Iowa that they could run with the East cars. It's a lot different here. It's a lot more physical racing out here. But I'm up to the challenge, and we're ready to go get some more wins here.
But if you're going to win a championship, Johnny, it's a lot easier if you get off to a good start.
It is. He didn't run out of talent. He was just smart at what he was doing.
You look at the championship standings. Third place tonight, Brandon Jones. He's with Kristen B. Kristen?
All right, I'm standing here with Brandon Jones. Brandon, finishing P3, great way to start the season off. What were your thoughts throughout the race?
Yeah, definitely. We closed up to Cameron and the 6 car there at the very end, and I was waiting for him to move him or something so he'd get by. But, he jumped out front for a little bit in the beginning and got a few experience running up front, so I think that's a big plus, and looking forward to the next one.
We'll see you there.
So race 1 of 2014 is in the books. The next time we see you, it'll be for the K&N Pro Series West, the Talking Stick Resort 75 from Phoenix International Raceway. Mark your calendars for March 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You can watch our coverage on Fox Sports 1. A very entertaining night here at New Smyrna, Johnny.
It was. It was a great race all the way to the end, and the next track's going to be a lot of the same stuff.
So this one is over, and we offer our congratulations to Daniel Suarez. The first time ever the K&N Pro Series made a trip here to the New Smyrna Speedway. The fans got their money's worth. After spending some time with the drivers, we went racing, and it was a typical short track night. We had some cautions, 3 of them to be exact, but when the smoke cleared, what a finish. Daniel Suarez in front of Cameron Haley. He's now 1-0. For Johnny Benson and Kristen Beat, I'm Adam Alexander. We'll see you next time.